Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow, bringing you guys another local at game night. This time I'm facing fellow YouTuber Anarchy. We were doing a Blackbeard mirror. I won the dice roll, chose to go second. Second's obviously the better curve for Blackbeard. I open up with Stage, which lets me cycle top 3 cards, trashing 1, and I end up grabbing Burgess. And I establish Lafitte and I pass. I do it like this just so that next turn I can tap a Don, search top 5 for any card. Just had the hope that he didn't play a dot Q to knock it, which he didn't. He swung 8 at me. I took the life. In this matchup, obviously with it being the mirror, we don't got to worry about on plays. So really, if you could build your hand size, it's better. I'm trucking a Van Auger, grabbing another Lafitte. And I truck Van Auger just because in this matchup, I'm not really needing the pop much on the field because Burgess is basically unKO'able. So at best, it's just really for Laboon or potentially trying to get a 10 drop down. So I swing 5 at lead. He takes it, and then with my last 3 down, I established a Lafitte and a dot Q. And I do both of these just in case he plays his own Lafitte out. I can KO it with the dot Q. And I knew he was going to swing at my Lafitte, so that's why I made sure I had another one established just in case, so I could search again. So he plays out Van Auger. I'm going to play Laboon out, Laboon to Van Auger, dot Q it. He does get a draw off of it, but we get the, we get the body off the field, which is what really matters here. And then I search with the Lafitte, top 5 for 1 Don, which we're really plus 1ing this turn just for a Don, which is perfect for us. With this Lafitte, I believe I'm gonna grab another Lafitte so we can keep the searching going. But I do want to find a black hole specifically for his Burgesses if he does play them. I swing 5 at his lead. He counters out with the Van Auger, and I establish the other Lafitte, and then I pass to him. Here he's got to make the choice whether to swing at my Laboon, swing at my dot Q, or my Lafitte to prevent me from searching, which I basically set him up to a point where he has to make a decision. And it needs to be a good one at that. But more than likely won't be able to move a lot off my field unless he drops dot Qs and finger pistols and a bunch of stuff. So he swings 8 at the Laboon. I let it go because, again, not much is really needed for it other than trying to reduce 10 drop down, but other than that, he's just a body in this matchup. So I do 4. I play out my own Burgess, and I was potentially hoping to find a black hole, but really I'm just baiting out these black holes from him right now instead of potentially seeing them with my 10 drop. So I do my Arrow Begins, grabbing Stronger in it. Do this to start beefing up Burgess a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's gonna stick much, but it's better to at least start going and searching cards out. So I tap 2 Don. I'm gonna double Lafitte search here, grab my first 10 drop, and searching with the other Lafitte. At this point, I need to establish 10 drops, and I do find the black hole, which I really needed prior to it, but at this point, it's not gonna do much. I have 1 Don left, and I'm going to use it to swing for 6 at his lead, which is going to have to give me a 2K, which is what he does. And I think I'm going to, I do Stage. I'm going to end up chucking a Laboon and grabbing another 10 drop. Realistically, probably chucking the black hole would have been better to keep the counter in hand, because next turn I'm going to be at 10. And you saw in my hand I have 4 10 drops, so it's just going to be a battle of me slamming 10 drops back to back to back at this point. Which almost seems like the BY matchup with whoever saw the most geckos. But his Burgess finally hit 6K stat line, and he establishes a second Burgess, which can be trouble. He's swinging for 7 at life. I take it. He's leaving the Lafitte on board, which could be good for me to continue searching, but as you saw in my hand, 4 10 drops. I'm gonna slam 4 10 drops this turn. So I cycle out the Stage, with my own stage. And I think I'm going to grab a 2K counter. Oh no, I grabbed My Era Begins, which could be used to search if needed, but there's not much searching going on for a little bit. So negate leader, negate Burgess. So Burgess is now back down to 5K instead of its 6K. And I'm going to swing for 5. And I'm choosing to swing at the Burgess over leader because I want to bait counter out of his hand. So him countering out actually benefits me right now. So I pass the turn. He's got one Burgess that could swing and the other one that cannot. So I have one 10 drop that's currently up and active. We did see a 10 drop in his hand, so he might respond with his own 10 drop here to negate my blocker, which is what he does. Negates the Blackbeard and my own leader ability. He's going to swing 5 at life. I think I'm going to counter out here with a 1K because I'm going to have to probably take this 6K Burgess. I could counter out for 2, which I think is what I'm considering. And I do decide to do it, countering out for 2, because if I don't counter out of this, when this Burgess gets bigger and swings for 7 or more, I'm going to have to give him more cards. So better to counter out earlier than later. And I cycle out the Finger Pistol with the stage ability just because Finger Pistol is going to be useless with the Burgesses on the field. So I establish a 10 drop, and then instead of choosing Burgess, I'm going to choose his own 10 drop just so that he can't block with it and he can't swing at me with it. So I think I'm going to swing 5 at his leader. He ends up taking it. I contemplated swinging at the Burgess with my Blackbeard, but I decided to keep them both up because he's going to be able to swing 3 times with the Burgesses. If not, he could have still swung big with, with his leader and his other Burgess and established another body if he wanted to. Which you're going to see here, he does Finger Pistol the Lafitte off the field, which was kind of interesting. The Lafitte wasn't doing anything in this matchup ever since he started slamming 10 drops down, so not sure why he opted to do that instead of just swinging for more. But letting the man cook. Oh, actually, he does it to establish to beef up the Burgesses. That's the main reason why, because now the Burgess is swinging for a higher attack stat. So I block both of them. He swings 7 with lead. I take that one. He establishes a 3rd Burgess. So I'm going to respond with my 3rd 10 drop. It's just a back and forth toxic match here. So I'm going to start with the 10 drop, negating his 10 drop and his leader. And we're just going to try our best to prevent this 10 drop from swinging at us. And here I swing 12K at the Burgess. And I do this to try to get it off the field, because if it's able to get off, my other 2 10 drops could block his other Burgess swings that he has coming at me. And that's if it's able to clear. But here you see Anarchy really contemplating whether to counter out or not. And he's actually going to dump his entire hand here to save this Burgess, which is not bad, because as you put cards into the trash, if you get another 4 cards, he still gets that extra 1,000 buff. So I think currently it is at a 7K. So if he gives another 4 cards in counter, he gets that extra buff. He could definitely survive, which he gives me 3 cards here to get over it, which looks like it's 3 2Ks. It's a Barto blocker, the Stronger, and a Sharia. So 6K counter. Which actually, looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, should have probably still cleared it, honestly. Oh no, because it's at a 7, yeah. So that'll get it over. Barto is an interesting tech in Blackbeard. I've been seeing a lot of lists starting to run Mancherry with the Barto blockers to be able to cycle back the Burgess back into your hand, or a blocker, which is mainly going to be Barto, and just keep it in a cycle. I haven't tried the tech out myself, but I do have the card, so maybe see that in some Blackbeard videos coming out soon. But it is a new tech. I've also seen Ice Ages in being ran in the Blackbeard, which is nasty. I've been hit with a double Ice Age, gotten rid of 2 10 drops in 1 turn against me, which is very tilting. Here he swung with his leader. He's just applying pressure right here. I countered out with the Van Auger instead of turning a Blackbeard sideways because I'd rather keep the Blackbeards to block the bigger swings like the Burgess. But I take this first one, and I basically took it to see what kind of counter I'd find, and he was anticipating me to turn and block with the Blackbeard so he could swing bigger at it. I mean, he still has the one that's rested he could swing at, but I choose not to block with it. Even then, I do have enough counter in hand to potentially just, keep myself safe. So I think he had another 5. He still has the 1 Burgess off to the side, and I believe he's got 2 cards in hand. So he put himself in a pretty tricky situation, not giving up the Burgess, but he needed to keep applying pressure to my life. So he's looking at my trash, asking to see how many counter I have, considering on what else to swing at. Yeah, so he has 1 card in hand, which I know is going to be a Burgess. So he swings with his last one, and I just block it. And here he's played his 4th Burgess, so I'm going to play my 4th Blackbeard. Kind of do it out of sequence. I swing with leader first, but I should have established the 10 drop. Chose his 10 drop and then just swing out with everything, which I'm still going to do. I'm going to swing 5. He's going to take it, which was a mistake. If he countered out, it would have been a lot different. But 10 drop, or swing 5, he takes it, 10 drop, and then I just swing out with everything. And I end up winning the game. And as always, if you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought. Don't forget to check out Anarchy's channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.